We up and I'm feeling like a new me. Stacking new sets, some new E. NFTs, all of them you need. Back in my zone like 2-3. All time high, hit a new peak. Let's go. Homie, the Bulls is back. I said the Bulls is back.
GM, welcome back to the channel. In this one, we're looking at a DeFi protocol, Kamino Finance on Solana. It is the most popular borrow lend market, aka a money market or a bank on the blockchain, if you want to think of it like that. Now, let's just do a quick comparison versus Aave here and just look at the landscape. We're going to jump through token, the airdrop, and a load of other stuff. So stay tuned for this. So on DeFi Llama, we have the leading lending protocols. It is the most lindy DeFi protocol in existence. When you think of the word DeFi, Aave typically springs to mind. Never been hacked, loads of TVL as you can see on screen, pretty much $12 billion worth. And if you want to take out a loan against your collateral, typically people are flocking to Aave, but Aave does not operate on Solana. So we have these kind of compares. The Aave of Solana could be Kamino. So Kamino is down here, 7th position, just behind my head, $1.2 billion in TVL. And these money markets are typically very high in TVL. A lot of people like to earn yield on their crypto assets, as this is one of the main benefits of DeFi, taking out the middleman and leaving more meat on the bones for you and I. Quick compare here, we have Aave, as mentioned, $12 billion in TVL, a very big protocol. It has a market cap of pretty much $2 billion here, around 127 bucks per token. So Zuma Oracle has been posting and bull posting Kamino for quite some time here. And he says, look, I've been adding size to my Kamino bags, biggest lending protocol on Solana, sitting at 50 mil market cap. You could be FOMOing higher, he says. Now, if you look at the graphic here, what it's showing you is how much TVL and assets are being parked on these. Are they going up, trending upwards, or are they trending downwards? So is TVL coming or going from said protocols? And you can see a clear shift here, Kamino pulling in a load of TVL. Now there is a reason for that as well, because they are incentivizing using their token. So could we have on our hands the Aave of Solana? And obviously with Aave not being interested in bridging to Solana, there's obviously a massive gap here. And broadly speaking, DeFi on Sol is kind of underappreciated for now, but it should have a major boom at some point. So this could be the early stages of that. Now, Kamino, the main amount of tokens here, so it says 1 billion. Now this is currently 1.1 billion by my estimations. I'll go into details on that in just a moment, but the first 750 million tokens that hit the market were all via airdrop here, back at the end of April of 2024. So the distribution looks very similar to what we saw with many airdrop tokens, people just selling them over a long period of time, dumping the price, and eventually starts to actually trend up. So you can see from here, it did start to trend up from late June. And if we didn't have the huge 49K nuke for BTC, it's a pretty smooth line overall. Now, in the last 24 hours, if we just pull up the chart here, you can see a big dump. So this dump is due to the fact season 2 airdrop rewards were just dished out. So I've just started to create a position in this, and I've had my first DCA in off the back of this dump because people have just been given tokens, they've been farming, they've sold them. So we have a bit of distressed price action here. So I did want to take advantage of that. Now, I'm not going to empty the full clip as we stand right here, right now, but I thought this was a good first DCA in. Now, season 2 of Kamino points, they were focusing on growing the user base of Kamino, and by that, enhancing the amount of community members because there was token incentives. So they pretty much ran a points program. You provide TVL to them. You also can stake Kamino, KMNO, the ticker, the token itself, to earn boosters to this and earn even more Kamino in the future. So they ran this for like a 3-month period. And over that period, they did increase their TVL substantially. So in my mind, they're using the token incentives very wisely to increase TVL and thus increase their revenues. Down here, it just notifies you that the staking boost is available. You're able to stake Kamino tokens to earn boosted points. This meant more Kamino tokens were locked up, so should benefit price. So on the website here, you can see Kamino Season 2 allocations are out. They were released today, hence that price action. So if you have been farming this, do check it out. And the main crux of this was to stake the Kamino token and provide liquidity to Kamino pairs, all in advance of receiving said airdrop for governance to go live, which it will do in the not too distant future. So do check that out if you have been farming. It does stay up here. UK people cannot get involved. Now, just to run through the actual interface, it's a borrow lend market, a money market. You can supply coins and thus earn interest from people borrowing them, or you can borrow them yourself and pay an interest rate. So pretty simple stuff. Good UI, very neat. But on here, they have additional things like going long and short. So essentially, this will use flash loans to increase your exposure to certain assets, either to the long side or short side. So giving you that leverage on tap, which is really interesting. And then if we go to multiply as well, this is where you could use looping strategies. And this would use flash loans again to get you into looped positions. I know JLP is a very popular one down here, and it does print quite well. So a lot of people really love these products. And I think this is one of the central hubs for DeFi on Solana right now. So into the token here, 250,000 people received those initial 750 million Kamino tokens. That was season 1 of the airdrop in April. So what they wanted to do was to retain as many users as possible by getting them to stake their Kamino. Now, what's interesting today with season 2's drop, all the tokens dropped to you. If you received some, they will be automatically staked. So they're trying to keep people in position. Now, season 2 achieved both of its primary goals. TVL saw very little drop off after season 1 ended, which is good. This shows you that the community stuck around, and also 63% of the circulating season 1 supply remained staked. So very interesting to see those stats there. So in light of this, season 2, the idea here was to ensure people were providing value to the protocol by staking their Kamino tokens and also providing liquidity to the pairs they really wanted. And as a result, they've dished out 3.5% of supply, 350 million tokens, which have just gone out today. So people farm points, they then receive tokens. And it's a bit of a virtuous loop here. They dish you out Kamino tokens. If you now stake those Kamino tokens, you're going to earn even more points for the next season. So you can see how things worked out in season 2. It was successful. There were 350 million Kamino distributed, which had a market value of around $14 million. So that was the earnings of people providing their TVL. But this generated the protocol 21 million in native interest. So plus 7 mil in just a short span of time, like 3-4 months. Pretty damn interesting to see. So there's a lot of stats in here if you want to go and check them out. And most of them are going up to the top right hand corner. It shows you some of the pairs that were being farmed and the APR comparisons for those airdrops. And it shows you that it is effective to stake your Kamino rather than not in order to get the biggest airdrop possible. So this bodes well for season 3 that people will do the same again, having seen this data. Season 3 info is coming in this following week, so all eyes will be on that. One thing to look at here, this is the TVL chart of Kamino. So here's 2024, here is the protocol going live, somewhere around here. Pretty much peaks at 1.4, 1.5 billion dollars in TVL, and it's pretty much stuck around there. A bit of oscillation, but nothing crazy. It'd be nice to see this break out, but what we'd want to track maybe tomorrow and the days preceding is to see if there is a drop off in TVL now that season 2 is done, or whether people will stick around to farm season 3, or whether more people will even come to farm season 3 as season 2 rewards were pretty damn good. So just versus Aave, this has got roughly 10% of the TVL, but you have a protocol with a 40 mil market cap versus that of Aave, $1.8, $1.9 billion. So their roadmap forward is to hit $10 billion in TVL on the platform, and season 3 is how they intend to do this. So a bit of a thread here by this guy, but he's saying, look, he went from a farmer of the protocol to now just being a loyal user who loves to actually use Kamino each and every day. So this is actually quite an interesting thing from a qualitative standpoint. Someone who was just going to farm this thing now uses it all the time. He likes to lend PYUSD, big incentives on that. PYUSD from PayPal has some lovely incentives. I think you can get like 17, 18% for just parking it on there. Pretty good on the stablecoin. You can lever up on JLP positions and a load of stuff on there. They have this kind of 4-pillar plan to enhance DeFi on Sol, products, community, Kamino the token, and revenues. So in terms of product, they have a very sharp user interface and user experience. It seems to be getting quite a bit of trust as it's been around a long time now. And Lend V2 will include real-world assets, peer-to-peers, and order book lending. So a lot of things on the product side that are going to be quite interesting. Community-wise, they've had very active town halls. There's going to be governance with Kamino token taking a center stage for that. There's Kamino grants and even a Kamino University. Haven't personally checked one out, but they're just doing a lot to actually boost community kind of morale around this and make the token quite center of it. So the token itself, as mentioned, will be part of governance, and this should be coming out in the next couple of weeks, I would imagine, as there's now quite a lot of tokens being distributed so far from this protocol. So interesting stuff. And the kind of cycle of this here is that as revenue growth increases, they can increase incentives. This will boost TVL growth, thus more revenue growth, thus more incentives can be used and pushed on. They're then highlighting PYUSD, huge incentive program that saw 180 mil of PYUSD find its way to Kamino, which is pretty damn cool. So lots of cool things coming for this. Now, token unlocks, no major unlock until April of 2025. 22% of circulating supply will come out, but we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on season 3 because the season 2 drop wasn't mentioned. So you had to kind of be in the know somewhat, but we can see from this, it states that 1.75 billion tokens are unlocked. We saw the 750 mil from airdrop 1, 350 from airdrop 2. So we're at 1.1 billion tokens, leaving 600,000 tokens left. So maybe what we'll see is a season 3 and a season 4 subsequently, or maybe a huge season 3 with 600 million tokens, who knows? But no major cause for concern until April of next year when we start to get linear unlocks for various contributors to this protocol. So the question is, can Kamino pull an Aave and be one of the big main stories for DeFi on Solana in this cycle? I'll leave that one up to you, but I've started to position in this one. Very interesting protocol, big borrow lend market. See you in the next one. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.